Hello, my name is Amanda Juker, and today I would like to present to you a program evaluation centered on the effects of intervention on sexual offense recidivism rates. So to begin, my interest in the topic of sexual offense recidivism actually comes from an acknowledgement of my own personal biases. My experience with sexual offenders has been limited to strictly working with victims at a domestic violence and sexual assault crisis center. And I wanted to challenge my preconceived notions about sex offender intervention and bridge the gap in my understanding of how intervention is implemented and its subsequent effects on recidivism. And then I was further intrigued after beginning my research when I found that there is a major lack of quality data available that is updated and relevant to current intervention programs. And for me, this just reaffirmed how essential and necessary our understanding of offender intervention is and how dire the need for more in-depth research on it is. So let's discuss some of the statistics that are relevant to this inquiry. It is important to note that all of this information is based on sexual offense cases that were fully prosecuted. And these stats were largely gathered from the Department of Justice of Sex Offender Sentencing, Monitoring, Apprehending, Registering, and Tracking, or SMART. According to the SMART office, sexual offenders who received treatment intervention following a sexual offense had a recidivism rate of between 10.7 and 11.1%. And then those who did not receive intervention had recidivism rates of about 17.5 to 20.2%. And the variation in these rates is due to the combination of several studies with differing results, and also those studies being outdated and producing unclear information due to not documenting demographic information of the participants. So the design for my own research evaluation would consist of 100 participants. 50 of the subjects would be offenders who received immediate intervention following their sexual offense sentencing. And then the other 50 would be individuals who did not receive treatment. Participation would be entirely voluntary, and the participants would be required to sign an informed consent document outlining the purpose and methods of the evaluation. And then to effectively compare those rates in an updated format, I would start with a baseline of recidivism rates over the last 10 years. And then this would be further analyzed by dividing the results between offenders who participated in individual treatment intervention versus group intervention. And the study would not interfere with any interventions, as the records needed to create the baseline could be retrieved through court data systems, parole and probation offices, and so on. So my overall hypothesis regarding this evaluation is that recidivism rates are significantly higher amongst offenders who do not enter and complete treatment after their first sexual crime conviction, as opposed to those that do. In order to prove this hypothesis, the method utilized in the study would be a pre-test, post-test. This would allow for evaluation of the participants before receiving intervention and after. And then during the course of 1 year, each participant would complete a monthly yes-no questionnaire that would help to determine their proclivity towards sexual violence. The questionnaire would be distributed by treatment providers or probation or parole officers. And then the study would conclude 1 year following each participant's initial sentencing and subsequent treatment. So some of the implications that research like this would have on the social work field include a much deeper understanding of the different interventions themselves, as well as acknowledging that there are several factors that influence recidivism rates. And it would also encourage and allow for the development of more effective treatment programs to take place. And if this research were to be replicated in the future, some factors to take into consideration are the unique barriers that participants might face depending on the nature of their offense and subsequent court sentence, considering how a participant's specific demographics, such as age, gender, etc., might influence those results. And finally, the research could be further analyzed based on participant location. So thank you so much for taking time to consider the importance of this research. My hope is that you have gained a deeper understanding of how, despite what personal biases we may have towards perpetrators of sexual violence, intervention is crucial in order to reduce the likelihood that additional offenses may be committed. Thank you.